Welcome to the Wreath Shop. I'm Julie Samaco with Southern Charm Wreaths, where we make beautiful wreaths and teach you how to make and sell them. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a fall scarecrow hat centerpiece. Oh, speaking of scarecrows, check out this cute little scarecrow wreath. I taught the members of my Wreath Making of the Month Club how to make this deco mesh scarecrow wreath. Isn't he adorable? If you want to join the club, you can join within the next 48 hours and save $8. You'll get the video tutorial for this. Also, we had a guest speaker, or a guest wreath maker, I should say, yesterday in the club, and she showed us how, it was Terry Marshall from Mill and Dill Designs. She showed us how to make a beautiful Christmas wreath. And then tomorrow, shh, don't tell them, I'm going to go in and surprise them with a secret bonus video, so that'll be fun. All right, so if you join tonight, you'll get all 3 of those videos, and then you'll save also $8 off your membership. Alrighty, so let's see. Let me move him out of the way, and I can sometimes see your comments. Hopefully everything will go well, because the last time I was on here, technology was not my friend. Alright, so let's get started. I have, first of all, I've got a new mat that I'm just loving, and I'm hoping I don't drip any hot glue on, but you know how it will. It'll probably be messed up by the end of the night. Alright, so we are starting with, this is a 10-inch grapevine wreath on the bottom. I've already zip tied it. So it's a 10-inch grapevine wreath, and then this is a cone, grapevine cone. I got both of these at Hobby Lobby, and you can see that I have zip tied the bottom in a couple of places. Let me just check. There's 4. So you can see that I zip tied it in 4 places. You see the green is zip ties. So I zip tied the cone to the base. Alright, so now what I want to do is add the deco mesh. Alright, so what we're going to do is we have some 10-inch mesh, and we have this 10-inch mesh. So this is a poly jute mesh, and this is another poly jute, and it's in a burgundy color. And then I have this, that's the frayed edge burlap. I got all 3 of these from trendytree.com. Alright, so we're going to get started. Alright, so I've got 1 here, so I need 1, 2, 3, I'm going to do 4. Alright, so we're going to roll out the 10-inch mesh, and we're going to cut them in 30-inch lengths. If I have my rotary cutter. I got the board off of Amazon, and I will be glad to put my link in there. I love it. I was thinking you guys could see a little bit better with the white background versus the green. Might show up a little bit better on the screen. I want a total of 7 bundles. Alright, so let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, let's do one more. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do one more, I think. Alright, and now I'm going to do, I want a total of, let's see, how many of these do I want? This one I'm only going to cut 12 inches. So this is the burgundy 10-inch mesh, and I'm going to cut this one 12 inches. Let's do 2 more. I mean one more. Doesn't have to be a perfect cut. And then I'm going to do some of the 10-inch frayed mesh. Make sure you can see okay. 1, 2. All right. I love this frayed mesh. I'm almost out. It just reminds me of a scarecrow, so that's why I'm trying to incorporate it. So we want to make little poofs just like this, and we're going to attach it in the scarecrow hat. All right. So to do that, first thing, let's make the little poofs. I'm going to get some wire. I was thinking about cutting these in half to try to save. I always try to figure out what's the best way to get the most out of my money spent. So I was hoping I can cut these in half. These are florist wire, 18 gauge. All right, so let's put this over here. Make some more room. Okay, so now I'm using this bow dabra that I found when I was cleaning out the wreath shop this past, it feels like it's been a whole month, but it was only a couple of weeks. It took me to clean out the wreath shop. But I found this bow dabra and I thought I'd try to put it to use. All right, so I took the 30-inch mesh. Do y'all hear the doggy making dog noises? And I'm going to shove it down in here. All right, so this is the 30-inch mesh, and I ruffled it up. And now I'm going to do the 10-inch mesh, and I'm just ruffling it up just like this, gathering it in my hand so it looks like a little bow tie. And then I'm shoving it down into the bow dabra. The center cone is from Hobby Lobby. All right, and now I'm going to add some raffia on top of that. Don't you just, raffia is just so pretty in an arrangement, but man, is it a mess to deal with. So I'm just going to wrap this just like that a couple of times in my hand. So as you come in, tell me if you put a fall wreath on your door. All right, so now I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to put some florist wire around it. If you don't have florist wire, you can use pipe cleaner. Maybe I shouldn't have cut it. Yeah, it's called, Jennifer, it's called a bow dabra. I've really never made bows with it. All right, so we've got one little poof of fun mesh and fall goodness. All right, so now what we're going to do is start attaching the little poofs that we made. I'm just going to secure them around the wreath. So I'm going to push the pipe cleaner or the florist wire, whatever you're using to secure it, through. All right, so I'm going to trim the little the wire short. So here is our first one added, and then here is the wires. You can barely see the wire on the inside. I don't use the Bow Dabra for making bows, so I really can't compare it to the Pro Bow. I'm just using it to hold my little poofs because my hands are hurting. Alright, so now I'm going to put the next one right up against it. I was trying not to go all the way around the grapevine wreath because I still want to put maybe some silk flowers or something in it. And if I put it going all the way around, it'll make the grapevine wreath very tight. Alright, so I'm just going to keep adding these. I'm moving all the way around and I'm going to alternate them. Probably need to make one or two more of these. I am working, for those of you who are new to my page, I work out of my house. This is my full-time job. And I have my craft room set up in our two-car garage of our home. And it does not have an air conditioner, so I am really looking forward to fall, the cooler temperatures. Jennifer, I am located in the Columbia, South Carolina area. And we had the full eclipse. We were in the totality zone. That was such the coolest thing. Okay. So you can see how it's coming along. Let's see if I can. All right, and this is very full. Make sure the raffia is doing good. All right, so this is what we've got so far. Isn't it cute? So here is the side and the bottom. All right, so now I want to make the bow. I'm going to be using a lot of ribbon. Okay, so let me just talk to you a little bit about color. So I usually find a focal point for whatever I'm designing. And since this one is, pretty bland and neutral, the base, I don't really have a focal point, so the bow is going to be the focal point, okay? So then I picked one ribbon, and this is the ribbon that I just absolutely fell in love with. It is just so pretty with the woven. It just reminds me of almost like a man's business tie, but it's in the beautiful colors of burgundy and orange and moss green, and it's got maybe a little yellow thread going through the center of it. It is so pretty. So I found this ribbon, and I'm like, okay, definitely, yes. And then I want to show you, a lot of people ask me because they're, they get confused about picking out ribbon and color, so that's why I'm going over it with you right now, just a little bit more in depth. All right, so then, let me see if I'm in the screen. I have this one. So this one, look, it's in the same colors. So we've got the burgundy and we've got the taupe, which ties in to our centerpiece. We've got the orange and we've got the green. Even though this one's just a little bit of a mossy, of a lime green, it still will go really pretty with that. Doesn't have to be so matchy-matchy. Let me just make sure. All right, and then the next thing I have is this striped ribbon, and this goes really well, but it's got a rustic look to it, and it pulls in the orange. So this could have been easily a moss green and worked, and it could have been a burgundy striped and it worked. But I have the green, the orange. And then I'm going to use this beautiful polka dot 1.5 inch ribbon. It's a polka dot orange and it's glittery. So this sparkly it just goes very well with this other bronzy orange ribbon. I think those just go very well together. And then I have this. So again, this is bringing out the jute color. So there's a jute and an orange stripe. And this jute color just reminds me of the same color in the centerpiece with the burlap mesh. And then we have the solid moss green. And the moss green, again, ties in with these other ribbons over here with the green. So again, this could have easily have been the burgundy. In fact, let me check on that. Now that I'm looking at it, because this might tie in better with the burgundy mesh that we're already using. I think I'm going to keep the green, just to give it a little punch. Alright, so the first thing I want to do, I laid out which ones I want to do first. I'm going to do this one first. Alright, let me move things around a little bit so that you can see. I'm going to try to do it in my hands, but I'm scared that my wrists are going to start hurting again. So I'm just going to measure out a 10-inch tail and pinch it just like that. And now I'm going to measure out 18 inches and then make a loop. And since these are so big, I'm going to go ahead and twist it, but sometimes I don't twist my loops. And then I'll measure out another 18 inches. And I'm going to put that up because all of a sudden this is looking really big. Let me just measure that real quick. I think I'm going to go with it. Okay. We'll figure it out, won't we? We'll see if this looks good. Alright, so then I'm going to trim this off. Just going to trim it off about 10 inches. Okay, put that to the side. So the next thing I want to use is this really pretty ribbon. It reminds me of a man's tie. I don't know what the name of that weave is in the fabric of it, but it's really pretty. And then I'm going to measure out about 10 inches and I'm going to pinch it. Alright, so then I'm going to measure this one out 16 inches. Let's see, where's the front and the back? I guess it doesn't matter. Twist it and measure out 16 inches again. Alright, Alright, so every loop that we come in, we're going to come in 2 inches on the loop size. Alright, and now I'm going to trim this about 10 inches also. Let's move this one out of the way. Okay, so now the next one we want to use is this plaid. I'm getting all the 2.5 inch out of the way and done first, and each one I'm stacking up on top of each other. Alright, so this one is going to be, measure out roughly 10 inches. That's a tail. So I'm putting it all in my hand. You know, I guess I could have stacked it on top of the Bow Dabra, now that I think about it. Alright, so this is, I'm going to measure out 14 inches. And then measure out another 14 inches. So each time I'm making 2 loops. Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. I could have put it in the Bow Dabra. Alrighty, so now I'm going to move on to my next ribbon, which is going to be this orange polka dot. Alright, so that last loop that I just did was 10 inches. Let's see. So it's starting to come together. We've just got one more bow loop. Alright, so this one is going to be 8 inches. This is going to be little loops. So I'm just going to fluff that around just a little bit. Want to make sure all the loops are facing forward and all of the pretty side of the ribbon is facing forward. Okay, so now I need florist wire. Again, you can use pipe cleaner. But isn't that beautiful? So we were just every ribbon, we did 2 loops for every ribbon, and each one came in was and each one was 2 inches shorter than the one previously. And I used a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to use my needle nose pliers and just give that little wire on the back one twist, just to make it really good and tight. Okay, so this is where I'm going to go through and probably shorten up some of the ribbon, or not, maybe not. I'll probably wait until I put it on the centerpiece. But what I'm going to do is kind of come through and I'm going to dovetail the ends by just folding the ribbon in half and then cutting it on the fold at a 45-degree angle, and that just gives a very finished end. It's called dovetailing. So these bows are beautiful in wreaths, garlands. You put them on your mailbox. I also have a free video for you. I'll put that in the link after I get off of here. 9 different ways to make a bow. And this one isn't even on there. So you'll get another 9 ways to make a bow. But it's just a little freebie for you, and I'll put the link in after the video. Just about there. I am just a ribbon junkie. I absolutely love beautiful ribbon. And man, you can tell when I was trying to clean up my craft room this month, earlier this month, it was so much ribbon. All right, so now I'm going to find where I want this. I've got just a little bit of a hole right here on this side. Not that I'm meant to be there, but it will be perfect to put it in there. So I'm going to put that in that. I'm going to just use the wire. And I don't think I'm going to put it down too far. Let me just position it first. No, I'm going to put it right here. Can you see? So not down close to the wreath base, but more up here closer to the mesh. Because I want to be able to see that the mesh going all the way around, and I want to have plenty of room for all of those beautiful, beautiful ribbon loops. Here we go. So I have put in the wire into the base of the cone. I'm just going to pull it through, make it tight. Before I tie anything down, I want to see if this is where I want things. I'm going to make sure I'll be able to pull the loops around. I don't want it to be too squished. Okay, and then when you like it, you can just twist it on the inside. All right, I'm just going to trim that off. All right, so now I'm just going to go through and position, and I'll probably be doing this through the whole video. Just keep positioning the ribbon because they get smashed, but I just keep moving things around. So some of these tails that are longer, I can move them up to the sides. Don't want my little green loops to get hidden. Might put him to the back. So feel free to move the ribbon loops and the tails around. So this tail could go to the back. And just mix them up a little bit so they are all mixed together. And do you see how, let's see, where's the other one? So do you see how, so this isn't actually a loop, this is the tail, but it goes all the way to the back. Let's see, I could come back later and trim up some of the tails if I want to, but this is what we've got so far. So tell me what you think. All right, so the next thing we are going to be adding, I've got all this fall goodness. We've got some pumpkins. Again, I'm trying to stick to the same color scheme. Remember, of the burgundy and the moss green and the oranges. We've got flowers. I've got some feathers. got leaves and more leaves. And the acorn spray I was trying to find in my last Facebook Live. I cleaned out the shop and now I found it. Isn't it amazing how that works? Alrighty, so what am I going to do? Okay, you guys bear with me just a bit. And I am going to tell you my thought process for adding in stuff. But you could leave it just like this if you wanted to. I'm going to go with these because it has a lot of moss. This one has a lot of moss and it has the burgundy in the leaf. This one, I don't love it as much. It has too much red in it. So I'm going to put these back. These would also work. It has a lot of orange and moss, you know, and I might be able to mix these two together. Okay, so let me see what we can put together, you guys. Now I've got these beautiful pumpkins on a stick. So I'm going to cut the tags off. I purchased this from Carolina Pottery. I'm going to cut these pretty low. I'm telling you, my hands. I think I've just been doing too much texting, you guys. Doing too much business on my phone or something. Okay. So I'm going to see how far up I want this. I don't want to lose the effect that there is a hat under here. So I could trim some of these down. But you know what I want to do first before I start adding things so I know how far up I want the gourds to come? I'm going to bend this just a little bit. All right, you guys, bear with me. Let me see if I can hold the base. Okay, I just want, see how I bent just a little bit? And it gave it some character. Instead of it being straight up and down, it's just a little quirkiness to it. All right, and now I think I am going to trim this one ribbon a hair. All right, and I'm going to put one of the whatchamacallits, stems right through here. So before I hot glue, I typically go in and place just to see if I like the placement. All right, I'm going to put both of them up here on the top, right beside each other. And I'm going to use my hot glue gun today. All right, so let's just shoot a little bit of glue. And I'm putting him down in between the bow and the tree or cone. There. Don't want to shove him down too far because I still want him to be seen. I'm saying it's a he. So the pumpkins must be he's. Male, I've got male pumpkins today. This one down in here. think I'm going to put some wire. All right, give me a second to find my wire. Let me think. I cleaned up the shop. I organized everything. Where did I put all of my wire? Here we go. This is a bind wire. It's really thin, and it's the color of the grapevine, so I don't have to worry about covering it up. It will blend on its own. I'm just going to take this one longer pumpkin. He's sticking out a little bit too far, so I want to make sure he's not coming off. I'm going to wire him in just at the base. If your loops on your bow get mashed, don't worry, you can fluff them later. I'm always fluffing my bows. Okay, so it blends so well that it gets lost. There we go. Let's see, I don't know if you can even see it, but I'm going way down deep. I just want to make sure that he does not fall out, you know, because you're going to store it probably in the attic. All right, so fluffing again and moving on. The next thing I want to do is leaves. This is another Carolina pottery find. These leaves. I love how real they look. They were only $2. Can't beat that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is start adding in these leaves. I'm going to attach them to the grapevine wreath, and I'm going to hot glue them inside of the grapevine wreath in the little, you know how the grapevine wreath has the little, what you call it, grapevine? I'm going in at an angle so that it catches, you know, the curve of the grapevine. But then I'm going to pull it up a little bit. I'm going to bend it out so that it doesn't get hidden. So just like that, right there. Sorry if I'm missing some of your comments. I can come back in later and answer your questions if I miss them. But if I keep answering questions, I'll never get this done. All right, so if I put one over there, I'm going to go over on the other side and put one. Feel free to stick it into the mesh. You know, this burlap mesh is very thin. So you can stick it in between the weave of the mesh. This would be a good gift, don't you think, for a parent, a housewarming gift, a colleague. So for this leaf, I sandwiched it in between two ribbon loops. I'm going to put another one into the ribbon loops. Just hold it down between your fingers. You know, you're sandwiching the ribbon around the hot glue gently so you don't get burnt. Then I'm going to put a little bit of shorter ones underneath. So we've got these two right here that we've added. I just love the use of the, what's that stuff called? Menopause brain right now. Raffia. I love it just adds a lot. A lot of texture. Totally reminds me of fall Scarecrow. Alright, so now I'm going to add more leaves. I think I might add some up here. Not that one. Those are a little bit big. Now I think I'm going to add some of these leaves. Just to give it a little bit more color. It will be fall before we know it. I know some of you up north are already getting cooler weather. Not here. Not in South Carolina. Although I have to say the summer hasn't been so hot. We haven't had like most days. Usually we have most days are over 100. Not this year. It's been relatively normal. Or a little mild. So you can see I'm just adding in more fall leaves. This is looking so cute. Alright, so I think we're done with the leaves. I'm going to add in, I wanted to add in this. This is a, it looks like a willow of some type of, it's very leggy. I'm going to see if it has on here what it is. A spirea bush. Don't know what that is. But I thought it looked pretty. So this is going to add a lot of dimension to your wreath. Not wreath, centerpiece. It's going to add a lot of, you know, wispiness coming out. All of these are bendable pieces. In fact, I want them longer, so I'm just going to rip them. If anything falls off, just hot glue it back on. So the little pieces of these flowers, or whatever they are, the blossoms, they're a little pink burgundy color. So it really matches with the burgundy mesh. So this is going to go, let's see where I want this. I'm going to stick this thing way down deep. I'm just going to wrap it a couple times in the grapevine. And then bend it just like that. And now where's the bind wire? I'm going to try to wire it at the top, sort of where I want it. So I'm just tacking it on the top with the bind wire. Remember, the bind wire is just matches the grapevine on the hat. This is the tricky part because it's so thin. So I am just taking that stem and I am just wrapping it around and sticking it back in. So that's secure, and then I'm just bending this branch. Actually, I might leave that one out like that. I've got another green one. Where do I want him? So this is adding that three-dimensional look to your piece. This is, I always like adding the 3-dimension as much as I can. Let's see, I'll probably put him up here. Let's get some more bind wire. This is a long project. I hope you guys are learning something. Tell me, will you make this? You know, you don't have to be as elaborate. It doesn't have to be, you know, with all of the flowers. It could have just been the mesh and a bow. It doesn't even have to be the bow I made. So you can see how it added a lot of, it looks, you know, garden variety. It had a lot of texture. So we've got the leaves going on. We've got this one. And now I'm going to just fluff the bow. And I'm going to put a few items coming out of the bow loops. Just a few things. So I've got this, you know, we could add a little bit of the same wispy, shorter pieces of the wispy branch. And then I've got this acorn I want to add in. So whenever I get a piece like this acorn, I just spread the whole thing out. I'm trying to decide if I want to, I think I'm just going to glue it into the bow loops. Let me clean it up a little bit. If you have a lot of paper on your stems, just pull them off and then take one of the wired stems and then wrap it around all of them so they're all, you know, wired together basically. Just sandwiching the glue in between the bow loops. So you can see where we've added it right there. All right, I've got a couple more pieces of the acorn I'm adding in. It's hard to see the acorn on the video. I'll zoom in when I get it all added. But it adds a lot of texture, another element that's three-dimensional. So it's got acorns and little pine cones, and I got this one at Hobby Lobby. So you can tell just by if you've been watching me for a while, I get supplies all over the place. I don't just get it from really one place. And I have a list of vendors in my Wreath Making of the Month Club. So I share all my vendors with you. Remember, if you join in the next 48 hours, you can save $8 off your membership. You learn how to make beautiful wreaths like the Scarecrow one behind me. Okay, and now I'm going to add a couple more wispy things. Let me turn it around and see. We've got some acorn pieces going on here, acorn over there, and over there. So that little piece of one stem of acorn really goes a long way. So I'm just adding these other pieces in between the bow loops to give it more, just to help fill out around the bow. I like when my bow loops blend with the piece. So you can see where we've added some of the pink burgundy-ish flowers, the acorn pieces. If you join the Wreath Making of the Month Club, it is on sale this month for $19. And we've already got 2 wreath tutorials in there this month, plus I've got tons of other tutorials on picking ribbon and what else? Tools that I use and mesh, wreath bases. Tomorrow I'm coming in and I'm going to do a private Facebook Live for them. All right, so let me add just a couple more pieces of goodness to the bow. So these are, I've got this stem right here. This one came from it came from Hobby Lobby. And I love this stuff. They have it for every season. So in the springtime, it's, lavender and pale pink. And it just goes so pretty with lantern swags. And it goes very pretty with, filling in around the bows just like I'm doing here. It adds so much texture, y'all. It is just so pretty. just going to fill in some back here with this to tie it in a little bit towards the back because I love it so much. Oh my gosh, yes. It's the $8 off. If you join this month, you get $8 off for the rest of your membership. Next month it'll go back up to $27 a month. It renews automatically. Cancel anytime. Okay, you guys, I think we're done. I was trying to debate if I want to put something at the top, but I don't. I think that would just be overkill. All right, so let's get some of this out of the way, and then I want to turn it around and show you all of it. All of its beauty. So the only thing I probably would do is come back over on the bottom and just hot glue silk flower leaves just to the bottom right there so that, you know, nothing will scratch any table. But that's what I would do if I was selling this to a customer. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight in my hot 100-degree wreath shop. Thank you so much. You know, I come on here and I do these table centerpieces and stuff, and I mean, I've never made a fall hat, you know, like this before, so I just want to encourage you not to be scared to try new things, whether it be painting or sewing or, you know, wreath making or working with silk flowers. If you feel that inner, you know, that little spirit inside of you that wants to try something new, and that's your creative spirit wanting to come out, so don't be afraid to try new things. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. I can't wait to see what yours look like. And don't forget my wreath making of the month club. You'll learn to make this cute little scarecrow wreath. Let's see. You'll learn to make the scarecrow wreath, and we've got a Christmas wreath video in there, and tomorrow I'll be going in and doing another tutorial for them. And I've given a couple of business tips in the group too, for some of the people who are selling wreaths. So I just give a little bit of stuff in there, and plus bunches of wreath stuff. I would love for you to join me again. $8 in the next 48 hours. I'll put the link here in the group, or the video after I'm done. And thank you for joining me. I hope that I'm a blessing to you, because you sure are a blessing to me. Thank you so much for joining me. Y'all have a very blessed night.